What is up, home workout and bodyweight exercise fans? In today's video, I'm going to elaborate a little bit more on the mind to muscle connection. Somebody yesterday asked on one of my videos, I don't get this mind to muscle connection. And basically that was a good point, because I've been talking about this here and there. I've been talking a little bit about it on my Facebook group, a little bit on my last ebook, and in a few videos, but I've never made a video on YouTube about this as a holistic method. How I basically use this method in each exercise. So that's why I thought of making this video today. First of all, let's go a little bit back in history. One of the first group of people that focused a lot on this were bodybuilders. Of course, you have other strongmen, in the 18th century that talked about this. But the guy that made this popular, I would say, was Arnold Schwarzenegger. When he made his film, The Pumping Iron, that bodybuilding 70s movie. Pretty good movie, by the way, you should watch it. A little bit fake, but still pretty good. And he talks a lot about this pump in this documentary, and bodybuilders tend to use the mind to muscle connection when they're doing mainly isolation exercises. So like when they're doing like a bicep curl, and they focus a lot on like squeezing that muscle during the exercise. So my way of using mind to muscle connection, I would say, is more holistic. It's more of a method I use in every exercise, not like a tool I use in some exercises. Now, as I said in a previous video, yesterday's video, it's a method that is not meant to be used for athletic movements, for athleticism. Like if you want to break PRs, if you're like a CrossFit guy, if you're like a professional athlete, if you want to bench press like a ton of weight, you won't focus on mind to muscle connection, because that's going to just make the exercise more difficult. But if your goal is to build muscle with bodyweight exercise, which is basically one of the biggest goals in my project, learning to teach you guys how to build muscle with bodyweight exercises, and how to also show you how much more how possible it is, because a lot of people say you can build muscle with bodyweight exercise, but that's just because they don't know how to use this mind to muscle connection I'm going to be talking about today. So there are a lot of things that go into this, at least in the way I approach it. And it's not just focusing on the right muscle, it's also taking out of the game some bad muscle activation. So for example, if you're doing pull-ups, and if you're doing pull-ups like this with your shoulders elevated, you're putting too much tension on the wrong muscles. You're probably doing some damage in your shoulder in the long term, and you're not engaging back muscles in the best possible way. So the way I use the mind to muscle connection, first of all, is I use correct form. So taking let's say we are doing pull-ups, learning to keep your shoulders back by just roll them back and keep them down, and having an open chest in a pull-up will help you to also get more of an arch in the back, have a broader chest, and like bring the bar close to the upper chest, and engage your lats more properly by bringing your elbows down to your ribs. So another element for pull-up, you have to bring your elbows down to the ribs and not let them flare out, because this position over here, when your arm is close to your ribs, is where your lats get the best squeeze, the best contraction. So once we learn correct form, I'm gonna also make a lot more detailed video on how to do pull-ups with proper mind to muscle connection in a week. But let's stick today to the basics. So once you learn to use correct form, you have to learn to feel the muscle you're going to target. I made a video the other day, always ask why, like always ask which is the main targeted muscle in an exercise, and learn to activate this. So in pull-ups, your main target muscle are lats, and learning first of all to feel this muscle without even doing a pull-up is essential. You know, if you don't have awareness of this muscle, how are you going to focus on it during an exercise? So a good exercise to activate your lats is just putting your shoulder, doing a round back and down, so round your shoulder back and down, while having your fingers on the lat, I would say just below nipple height, next to the ribs, and a little bit to the back is where the upper fibers of your lats are. So keeping your fingers there, doing a round move, rounding your shoulder back and down, and squeezing it downwards, pulling it downwards will activate your lats. So instantly you'll feel like a bump here. Your muscle will pop out. So first of all, learn to activate your lat like that. You know, if you can't feel it, how are you going to activate it? So first of all, you do this by palpating the muscle and rolling your shoulder back and down, and then try to like do it with both arms and without palpating the muscle. And, you know, learn just to squeeze your lats without doing a pull-up. After that, after you've switched the muscle on, as I say, hang on a pull-up bar and use the right technique. Bring your elbows close to your ribs and focus on the muscle and squeeze the muscle. So contract it. Imagine that the lats are pulling your elbows down to your ribs. Don't imagine you're pulling your hands with the pull-up bar with your hands. Imagine that you're pulling your elbow close to the ribs, because your lats are tied up in your humerus in the upper arm, and that's why they work in this exercise, because when they contract, they bring the arm down. So focus on that contraction while you're doing the exercise. When you're keeping the arms down and back, give your lats an extra squeeze. Now, I'm not saying you should like contract the hell out of them, like making this both an isometric and a normal repetition, but just having the muscle switched on and giving it a little bit of a squeeze during the exercise will keep that awareness on the muscle and will help you also improve the technique, because if the muscle is working right, your technique will start also improving by itself. So that's a quick overview of my mind to muscle approach. First of all, using correct form, taking bad form out of the game, you know, not contracting muscles that are inhibiting the correct muscles that should be working. Number 3, switching on the muscles. And number 4, contracting the muscles a little bit during the movement. Those, I would say, are 4 basic points of my approach. I'll be talking a lot more about this. I'll be taking each basic exercise and breaking it down, just as I did with the push-up. I'll be also writing an ebook for each exercise I do, at least for the basic ones, which I'll be giving for free to you guys the first 2 or 3 days. So make sure you are subscribed and you are always watching my videos every few days. Or you can just also subscribe on my newsletter on my website. That was all for today. I hope this video helps a little bit to understanding more of this approach. And again, you know, it's not like it's bro science. People have done EMGs with people who activate their muscles during an exercise and with people that don't activate them. And you know, it's pretty obvious that having a little bit of awareness on your muscles while doing the exercise helps get a better activation of these muscles. I feel like I'm repeating myself, but you know, even this sounds pretty obvious. Some people still tend to, like, you know, reject this idea and say if you just do the exercise with correct form, it's the same thing. But in my opinion, it's not, and especially in bodyweight exercises, mind to muscle connection is essential. I've been probably taking too long with this video. I hope this helps, and until next time, human training.